Okay, I just wanted to have a general word about music notation. Um, Again, inevitably, each of you will have had a different experience of this, depending on how your education has worked up to this point. Some of you may have done music at school, private lessons, may have done some classical stuff, whatever. But the important thing is that what you must realize is that this system has been around for about 1,000 years, ever since Guido of Arezzo back in Italy kind of started formulating what is now our traditional notation. So this isn't a system that's going to go away anytime soon, and it's also a recognized way of musicians communicating with one another. So if you are less experienced with it, then simply just start that process now. There are lots and lots of great resources online. Again, I can curate some of those for you and guide you to the more credible ones. And there are lots of theory books. Again, finding one that works for you. It's the same information, but sometimes presented in different ways will kind of chime with you particularly. But none of this learning that you do of putting music on paper takes away from your creativity. It just adds, and it makes you so much more flexible. If you think about the whole kind of real book idea of tunes being written down, some element of being able to tackle tunes by reading them off the page is good as well. It's a very standard way for musicians to communicate. So it also becomes a lot of fun to be able to write music, communicate it with others, pass it around others, that kind of thing. If you want to write for jazz orchestra, big band, that kind of thing, you have to be able to write your music down. So there's nothing to be lost by this and everything to be gained, really. As Pat Metheny said, it's an inevitable thing that you'll have to do in order to get your musicianship up to a level. You have to be able to read and write. In jazz, of course, we've got other idiomatic and stylistic things like chord symbols, all that kind of stuff that you need to be fluent with. But again, none of it actually is that essentially that complicated. In terms of chord types, there's major chords, minor chords, and dominant chords, and everything else in the first few years that you'll be looking at this music is a variation on that. So I will sort out some resources, put some stuff on Moodle or online, email you, whatever. But it's definitely a great thing to be able to do. And if you can develop your writing by hand, then that's great. But also the software aspect, like particularly Sibelius, that I'm very familiar with, is a fantastic tool to very quickly create professional looking, eminently kind of legible parts. So start that journey as soon as possible. Don't put it off. It's a great thing to be able to do. So let's get into that as soon as possible. Thank you.